Hey, I'm here this afternoon or early evening for me, but after lunchtime for you with Travis. Travis is the plain truth, aren't you?
I am the plain truth as opposed to a plain truth that is Jamie Lee. That's another channel that sometimes people confuse me with. But yeah, my channel is the plain truth.
Hmm. I don't know if you were aware of it, but I don't know how many videos ago because I make videos, but I came in and I actually recorded that bit. You went, "Hello, Karen, how are you?" I put that on one of my
Oh,
videos.
okay. All right. Well, good. Good, good. Yeah, you know, it's been a
Yeah.
while since we've talked. I think it's been probably since, oh, I don't know, maybe 2018, maybe 2019. But I was on your show one time because I
No,
think,
this last couple of years though, like since
yeah,
early last year and this year with this virus, everybody's all weird
right.
on that bit, aren't they? But I'm sure I've asked you before, but I think I was writing to you on Hangouts, and I think for some reason we haven't quite connected there. I know we're on Hangouts, but
Yeah.
you have to accept the invitation. And I would have written a couple because I try and keep in touch with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And I like that we're a community. This channel is a community.
Yep, it is. It is. Sun, Moon, and Family United. Yeah, I don't use Hangouts a lot, and
Well, try
so
to be.
yeah, we try to be. That's right. We try to be. But yeah, I don't use Hangouts that much. If something does come up, and if it's just like this general mass post that people are putting out, I usually don't follow up with it. So if you did try to contact me there, I probably just overlooked it by accident. So, but
That's
yeah,
all right. I'll let you
what's
off. Don't worry. We've contacted. And anyway, you're on our Facebook group now. So.
yeah, yep, yep, been there for a little bit, sure.
Yeah,
So
we're connected now because you're in our Facebook group. Um, well, it's me talking to you. I mean, you have been going out doing a massive amount of filming at the moment, and I know that you're into the mirroring effect, like Wide Awake, aren't you?
yeah, yeah, David and I talk a lot. Yeah, that's right. I think he said on one of my videos, I'm going to put you in contact with Karen, or it happened one or the other, one way to the other. Either you said that or he said that he was going to mention my channel to you and whatnot. But exactly, if anybody out there on your channel is familiar with Wide Awake's work, he and I film a lot of the same observations, although he's got more, I think, more extreme examples because of where he's at in Florida. So I'm a little bit jealous that he has
He does
the.
the most. He
Go
does the
ahead.
most amazing film. The
Yeah,
colors that he gets are
yeah,
they're just amazing
yeah.
when he's filming.
Yep, yep, for sure, for sure. But
And
yeah,
you know something? He started off, I think. I don't think he'll mind me saying this. He started off a bit more as he thought things looked a bit concave, and then through his research, he's realised it's not like that. And it is very strange because I used one of his footages the other day about that mirroring effect, where you can see the boat, and the boat looks like it's in the air, but really that's travelling on the water. It's straight out there, and it's the
yep,
mirroring effect that does that.
yep,
But the boat then
yep.
is just, it looks like they're off the top of the water. So there is no convex, it's straight across.
Yes,
But the
exactly.
mirroring effect does that effect.
Yep. Yeah, I think that the misinterpretation of it being uh, concave, right? Concave is the bowl where it looks like it's rising up, is just a misinterpretation of the way that we see in perspective, where the distance ramps up straight out in front of us. Um, so yeah, I don't ever think that I'm looking at a concave surface. I always understand that I'm looking straight out across an extended plane that just goes in front of me. So
I mean, it's a bit strange, isn't it? Because, when you're looking in the camera, you can never quite suss out how far it is, but this certain bit of sea is always compressed. So that's what you're seeing is this compressed bit of 3, 4 miles of sea. And then
uh,
comes whatever you're
and
looking at.
And maybe more, Karen, maybe more. Actually, I think that part of the research that I want to be involved in, and if you don't mind, I'm going to mention my GoFundMe. I started a GoFundMe last week, and I've already raised $1,400. I haven't been working
Wow, well
since.
done.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. I'd love to see more come in because the community really needs to rally around um, getting these observations and these explanations. We need to get out of YouTube because it's just I don't mind doing it. I love editing videos, and I love trying to be creative in how I present them. And I do that for my
Well,
subs.
I'm on
And
BitChute now for that reason.
okay,
I'm on BitChute for that reason because the only place that seems to enforce everything we're in is the place I'm trying to put my videos on. And
right,
now I've got to talk about other things. I mean, I'm very interested in what I'm talking about, but we should be able to have our voices and say what we want, and we can't. So I've gone to BitChute as well.
okay. Yeah, that might be an option, but my part of my thinking, I've been saying this for the past couple of years, is that somebody has got to take the next step and take us out of YouTube and get us into the mainstream. And I think that that is only possible through writing an article where you present the data and present it in such a way that it is going to grab the attention of people in the field of optics and atmospheric optics. And I think that I've come up with a thesis that I've been working on presenting, which is why I'm not working right now with my full-time job. I actually quit my other job. I haven't been working since mid-January, and I have just really been going through all of my footage, trying to find out, okay, how am I going to present this? How am I going to say this? Because presenting the material the way that I'm going to do with you today, the way that we're going to talk about it in just a relaxed fashion, that's not going to go over well in an article. It has to be a lot more structured. And so that takes work. And I was talking with a PhD friend of mine, she's a nurse, and I was talking to her about my desire to write for publication. And she said, well, I just want to let you know, she said, I'm a PhD. I wrote an article for publication, and it took me 6 months. So the research that is going to go into this is a full-time job. And the only way that I can survive that is through the community. If they believe in the content that people like Dave Green, Wide Awake puts out, Ranty Flat Earth puts out, I don't know if you know the channel Sky Free.
I have to
Um,
say that Wide Awake. Oh, sorry, Wide Awake's a really good friend of mine, and I really love him. I
oh
just
yeah,
think he's amazing, and he also doesn't get. He's also a bit frustrated, isn't he?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't take it as personal as he does, but yeah, he can let that lack of interest in the community get him down. I would like to try to rally in the community and just have people donate, just small amounts, that's going to be enough to sustain. So it's not just a matter of writing a paper. As I said before, I want to get out into the field and do observations where we can put boats out onto the horizon. What you said about the horizon compressing and perhaps containing about 3 miles in the degree that you're looking at it, I actually tend to think that it's farther than that. I think that there's more compression and more distance hidden in that compression. The only way that we're going to do any investigation is to get people out on the water, and we're going to have to pay for their time. We're going to have to pay because it's not going to be a one-day thing. You go out one day, horrible conditions, you're going to have to wait the next day or 2 or 3 days. It's a full-time job, and we're not going to get the resources from the government because they're not going to support our endeavor. So it's got to be done from the community. It's got to be a grassroots movement.
Well, you've said what you've said, and you've put your words out, and so everybody can hear that. So we need to put your I don't know how we do it. Well, let's just say people get in touch with you. I'll put your
Yeah, I
channel
can.
in the
Let me.
description afterwards, and people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, I've got a. Let's see, a bit of information that I've written out then forgot that I was going to be.
Yeah, we lost Travis for a while, but we've got him back now.
Yeah, I didn't say anything profound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my information in the chat, and then you can cut and paste that however you like.
Oh, yeah, send it to me on Facebook. Oh, okay. All right, then people can see that.
Yeah.
Can you send it again? Sorry, send that again, and I'll just hold the pet. Oh, hang on, what's on here? I might be able to see it this way.
Do you want me to do it through
Oh,
Facebook,
no,
or do you want me to do it through?
No, there you go. I've got it. I've got it. The patron.
Okay.
Thank you for stopping for a chasty. I hope to make your acquaintance, and hopefully people can write that link down. But I'll take that and we'll put that in the Hangouts.
Yeah.
Under your channel. I've got that now. Yeah. Well, I hope that works out for you, because it's not exactly the best time to be doing this, is it, really? I don't mean that rudely.
No, I mean but for me, it worked out. It just worked out timing. I had an opportunity to walk away from the job that I was at. I have a job waiting for me when I'm finished with my work here. I'm actually going to be going out to California. I don't know if you've heard about the solar celebration that Karen B is putting out with the spring equinox at the end of March.
Yeah,
so
I heard about that. I've seen the advert for that.
Yeah. So I'm headed to that with two of my friends, Derek and Adam, and we are leaving from there to drive across the country. And we're going to go to Pontchartrain again for me, for the first time for them. We're gonna get footage from Pontchartrain. We're going to drive all the way straight through and get into Utah at the Bonneville Salt Flats, and hopefully be able to maybe spend at least 2 days there getting footage on the land of similar observations over distance with refraction and other things like that. So that's something that we're going to need. We're going to need gas money for. That's something that people can contribute towards as well, because the three of us, we're taking a month off of work. We don't work, we don't make money. So this is a job. It's not just, oh, these guys are traveling across the country, they're just partying it up. No, that's not what it's about. But we're also traveling out to California, because when we get there in April, we're going to spend about a month on a cannabis farm and help one of our friends in the Flat Earth community who has a farm, a legal farm in California, to start harvesting his crops. And that's going to be absolutely insanely, incredibly awesome.
Well, that's good.
Yep. So looking forward to the next couple months. For sure.
Well done. And this testing, like what exactly, like that just sounds like a big project as well.
Talking about making the observations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, with making these observations, the way that I have been operating on my own, I've got 2 cameras, but I need 5, because I've got 5 different observations that I can be making. If you think about your field of view as you're looking out, maybe I'll pull up I can't really multitask very well when I'm talking and trying to find a picture that I want to show you. But if you think about your field of view when you're standing on the beach, it's my thesis right now that the observations that I make and others make, if you look out on the horizon at your field of view, I'm just going to try to find one that's got a really wide field of view for us to look at real quick. So bear with me as I kind of glance through these photos. Something that's going to have a wide field of view.
I was a bit of a shock seeing me. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, put your picture back up.
I will. Let me try to find one. I think I'm just going to use this one, and the concept will be there for us to consider. Okay. I don't like this. Let me get to paint.
Do you think it's something in the cameras, by the way?
What's that? What do you
Well,
mean?
I don't believe in the circular star trails because everything goes. The stars are doing all sorts of different things up there. Some are coming left, some are going down, some are going south. Whatever it is, but you put a couple of pictures in. Their friend put a couple of pictures in, and it made a whole star trail up, which was impossible. He only had 2 photographs, so I think it's a program in the camera, but it makes you think everything's spinning.
Hmm. I don't know. I haven't done a lot with star observations or star trails. So
There you go. I've got it. I've got the picture up.
okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this arrow. Okay. You see the arrow? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one of the observations that I set up at, and this. Do you know the channel BMLSB 69?
No, I've not heard of that one.
Okay, he is up here in California. This is Santa Barbara up this way, and he's put out quite a lot of well edited flat Earth videos of these oil platforms. Now, you can barely see these oil platforms with your naked eye in this photo, but they're right here on the horizon.
I can see them. I hope they come through on the video, but they're there on the
I
horizon.
can, yeah, I can zoom in a little bit more.
Yeah, just so that they see them. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So the point that I'm making is that all along this horizon, this is one direction north, okay, and I can see these oil platforms. But as I move this in this direction, I'm going to be covering almost 20 miles of panning my field of view, because up here is Santa Barbara, which is about 20, 25 miles away. And then as I move across the horizon, I should probably do this now that I'm thinking about it through with you, is put a couple of these photographs together and stitch them together to almost show a panorama. But the islands that I shoot are just 20 miles away from me, but they're in another direction in this area. My point is that if I have cameras aimed here and cameras aimed in another direction, they are going to see different effects. So whatever is happening here in the air might not be happening over here in this direction where my other camera is shooting. But at the same time, there are other observation points that would be helpful to be making, but I've only got 2 cameras. So what I mean to say is that I need at least 5 cameras, and then I need other people to man those cameras. Think of it as just this massive research team, right?
So you're
So
trying
you've
to
got,
put together a research team as well, then?
I would absolutely love a research team. Now, in this area, there's a YouTuber. He doesn't put out content, but he's in chats all the time. He might even be in yours because he's such a great guy and he just is so outgoing and just
What's his name?
you absolutely love the guy. Joe Mama.
Oh, Joe Mama. Yeah, Joe Mama. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's got a boat. I've been out with him on his boat, and the last time I was in California, he helped me do some observations on the horizon that I still have to look through because I just have so much footage. I just don't have the time to look through it all. So Joe Mama's got a boat. So not only would I need a boat for him at one observation, I've got 5 other observations that I'm making, and I need 5 boats. It's just immense. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane how immense this research would be. So basically, that's the idea. When you're looking out over the horizon, you're looking over massive distances. What I want to do real quick, if you don't mind, and Karen, feel free to interrupt at any point if you have a
No, I'm
question or if
listening.
you want
I'm
to.
listening and looking.
Okay. Let's see. Is this the footage? Okay. No.
Do you know anything about Doggerland?
I don't know that channel.
No, no. Doggerland is a piece of land that was between the
Oh,
UK and Belgium, and it's not there anymore. You know, like a
huh.
Lemuria.
Oh, no, I don't know about that.
Mm. There's trees, buildings, planes, boats, things down there. So I don't think it happened as long ago as they say. They said it happened like 6,000 years before Christ, sort of thing. But I don't think it
Huh.
was that long ago.
Okay. All right. So I went out to Lake Pontchartrain, which is in the state of Louisiana, and there is an infamous picture there where the power lines. Let me just show you a photograph that I have of the power lines. Okay, so these power lines here,
Wow.
and you can see that the power lines curve down right here. Okay. Now, this is being used as a photograph demonstrating that you can see the curvature of the Earth. So what I did was I came out to Pontchartrain to duplicate photos, but also get additional footage so that I can use it to compare things. So
Mm.
this is where I'm at. I'm at Pontchartrain here.
Right.
And what I want to show you is a little bit of what we were talking about in terms of distance and what happens out on the horizon. So in this photo here, I'm going to show you the city of New Orleans, which is 28 miles away. Okay, you see this?
Yeah.
Now, this is New Orleans right here in the middle, and it's 28 miles away. Now, can you tell me if you can, or let me ask you this question. Karen, are you able to tell whether or not there is a mirage happening in this image?
Yeah, I can see it. It's
Oh,
about,
can you?
it's a little bit below there's like a line goes across, but not like I was watching Wide Awakes the other day. You know, you could see that like it was half the screen, but just in front there's like a blue line. So I suppose that's where the mirroring line would be.
Okay, so do you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me where you want me to place my mouse, and then I can understand
Right.
what you're saying?
Up, up, about there. Just back a little
Okay,
bit. There's a blue line which goes across the screen. Oh, across
okay,
the sea. So I
yeah,
suppose that's the mirroring effect there, maybe a bit.
okay. So let me zoom
And then if
in.
that wasn't there, then you'd see more of New York. I can't say it now. New
New
Orleans.
Orleans,
Yeah, you'd see
yeah,
more of it.
okay. So I'm zooming in now. So that band that you saw
Is
right
this a
here.
trick question? Are these trick questions?
No, no, not at all, not at all. I'll explain what I mean in a moment. But when um, when we're looking out over the water, there are often shades of color, like you noticed. You noticed that there's a dark blue, and then all of a sudden you have a lighter blue, and then right up here at the top, there's a very thin, darker blue. I call those aqua bands. Okay, those are bands in the water that show us uh, a difference of distance. Okay, so
Are they rivers and things running under there? Because I find that really bizarre to believe that Doggerland was full of rivers. Those rivers are still there. These rivers still go. Like I don't understand how they don't mix with the sea, but the water. So they could be rivers under there still going.
well, this is an estuary, and I believe it's a man-made
Right.
lake.
Okay.
The water is pretty shallow.
Wow.
Some
A big lake then.
it's massive. Yeah, it's absolutely massive. So we've got this distance over here in front of us is 28 miles away. So this is New Orleans again, 28 miles away. But what I was asking you about in terms of the mirror or the mirage had to do with really the buildings rather than the water. You did point out the difference in the water, but that is still water there, Karen. That's not a
Mm.
mirage. Okay. So when we see these objects with our naked eye, I think it's our natural assumption to just assume that you're looking at a solid object. You're looking at one whole unit of of an object. Okay, so now I'm zooming in. You see these two big buildings right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are the two buildings right here.
Right.
Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in, and here are those two buildings. Now, here's another building, and it's just like the boat you said, remember?
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Right.
So
And the
this
one and the
boat,
one on the end is like that as well.
yeah, exactly. So now I wasn't able to see that with my naked eye. I can't see that. So I don't know that there's a mirage out there above the water. But zooming in, look how thick
And
that.
and the building next to it is almost doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, yep. So here's my point, and you alluded to it earlier. I'm suggesting that this space that you see right here is probably 14 miles, which is what, 21 kilometers, maybe somewhere around there. Okay,
Wow.
that is a massive distance. Now,
How far? Asking you, how far do you think a P900 or P1000 sees? Because it says if you look it up, it will say infinity, which is why you can get the stars. But we know that's a load of rubbish.
yeah. Well, to be honest with you, this would probably be my longest observation at 28 miles. So I'm going
But
to
you
say,
said that that bit's 14 miles, so it could be 28 plus 14 then.
no. Don't, I'm sorry. Let me clarify. From my camera position to these buildings is 28 miles. This
Right,
from the horizon here, from this
right.
point to there is 14 miles.
So why does the camera show so much distance and depth and space for the other miles, and then it does that to the last 14 then?
Because if you think about the way that we see, I'm looking over distance here. Now, you see how you can see the ripples in the water here?
Mm.
Okay. So there's a ripple in the water here. There's a ripple right here, right here, and right here. But as we move farther away, those spaces get tighter and tighter and tighter.
Mm.
So the distance from this ripple to this ripple might be 10 feet. But when you move out here, 10 feet is a tighter angle, so it's going to be much smaller. So as you have an angle that is getting tighter and tighter and tighter in the distance, now the space that took up 10 feet here, when you come out here, is now 50 feet.
So
And
why
if you
does it
move,
show the buildings like that? Surely the buildings would be all caught up in that, but it shows the buildings as buildings, and they're there.
I would say that's because they're higher in our field of view.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So when we get to this next part here, I'm trying to
Mm.
think of how I can do this best. Let me I just does my mouse work? Is it okay for
Yeah,
you to
I
see
can
my
see it.
mouse? Okay. Well, I'll just use that as the pointer.
You can make it a little
So,
bit bigger if you wanted to, or change the color if you wanted to,
yeah. Yeah, I suppose. I
just
don't
to
know.
make sure. Because, when we're doing these recordings, it's brilliant for me, but you do lose a little bit of quality when you stick it up on a Hangout.
Yeah.
Things I can see, people can't see, when
Right.
they're on a Hangout. I mean, when I've put it on YouTube, I don't know
Yeah.
why that happens. There's no reason for it to happen. It doesn't happen on BitChute.
Huh. Just saving a copy real quick.
That's okay. Everything is cool. Yeah, I'm glad that people are doing this. I mean, Wide Awake also spends many hours doing it. I mean,
Oh
his
yeah.
videos are just like the patience he has. You've got to be patient, haven't you, when you're a photographer?
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, it didn't keep it that way. Let me find where this was. Okay. I'm going to open this back up. Now I'm going to cheat and go to Paint. Okay. So now I can use my mouse, and now I can use my arrows the way I like to.
I know we all get stuck on the bits we like, don't we? And have to
Yeah.
use them whenever we're doing anything.
Yeah.
Right, go for it.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make this arrow. I'm going to make the shaft of the arrow as deep as the mirage. Okay. You see the mirage right there? So now I'm going to make the arrow just as much, take up as much space as the mirage. Okay. See that?
Which is the bit I was watching on Wide Awakes, and
Okay.
the other day, yeah.
Okay. So when when we look at this, I'm going to bounce back and forth between these images. When we look at an image like this with our naked eye, and we look over here, we don't see any buildings, right? Here's buildings, but over here, there's no buildings. So here we have an apparent meeting of the sky and the water, which is what we call the horizon. Okay. Now, what most people don't know, and this would be a part of my research because I don't think that it's been said in the way that we should say it. There is a mirage above the waterline here so that you're not seeing entirely, you're not seeing the sky entirely the whole way. Okay. So let's go back to this. So when we see this building here, this building is tall enough that we don't see the sky underneath it. This building is short enough, we do see the sky mirrored underneath it. This building, as you pointed out, is just barely, like, see this little niche, that little niche right there?
There's one on the other side as well.
Yeah, okay. That niche right here on this is the mirrored image down here. So
Say that again. Say that bit again.
I will. Let me just draw something to put right here.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's mirroring the bottom of the building out.
Yeah.
But the ones that it's not happening on are too small. It's just not working. But the bigger buildings, it mirrors it out.
Okay, so here's the top of the building, physical building. It's come down, it's coming down, it comes out like here and drops down. Right here at this point where that red line is, Karen, that's the ground 28 miles away. That's where the ground is. So this whole image right here is a mirage. It is a mirage. But if you were to look at it with your naked eye like this, there's the building right there. You're going to think that that's the solid entire building. It's not.
If, say, your eyes could see that far, would our eyes see the same? Or is it a program in the camera that's doing this? Is it part of the program in the camera that makes it, or is that exactly what the camera sees?
So when I take my shots like this is what I can see with my naked eye. So my eye can see this, and because I know there's a mirage, I can see the mirage here. I know that there's one, so I can already see it. But what I'm saying is the untrained eye is going to think that this building right here is in its entirety. So that when you get over here and you zoom in, and if you don't know how to interpret this data, you're going to not see the bottom of this building. And guess what you're going to say? It must be down here behind the curve. No, that's not what you're seeing. You're seeing a mirage. And just like the mirage starts right here for this building, the mirage starts right here for this building. So this is a mirage. That means the entire building is right here. Everything that this building is right here. And if we had the ability to go floor by floor by floor, we would see that the compression in the image increases as it gets closer to the ground. So you might have a millimeter space here and a millimeter space here, but these spaces are going to get smaller and smaller and tighter and that's compression, like you were talking about earlier. That's the compression. But the compression is not just 90 degrees, it's also along the x-axis. It's
So can I
or the
just ask you something? Is there anything in between these buildings? It's not showing any of the other background. Only the buildings are mirroring.
that's because the background is lower than the mirage. The mirage. So just like you see the entire building here, and then you see the mirage here, just like you see this building here and the mirage here, this building is not tall enough for you to see more of it, but everything that this building is right here. This building is not behind a curve. It's everything is right here. So let me go back to this, and I'll just leave that there. That's good enough for me.
This hangout reminds me of the old days when we were, on the main channel of Sun and Moon before they deleted it, and we used to do research like this on live hangouts.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. I did it on Friday with Iron Realm Media. I didn't do exactly this photo that you and I are discussing right now, but I still did this observation. Okay, so so the reason why we can't see more of this building here is because it's not as large as this. So, but what I want to point out is that the shape of this building right here.
Right. Can I just say one thing? When I was looking at that, where your arrow is now, I thought that was a bit of the picture missing, but now it's not. That's just the reflection of the top of the building.
Okay. So you see the sky right here above the building? Okay. Okay, here's sky, sky, sky. Sky is right above the building. Now we can see sky to the side of the building. And now we come down and see, we see sky, we see sky. Karen, this is no longer the sky. This is a mirage of the sky.
Wow, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and I don't see that discussion in any of the papers that I'm reading, and it might be out there, but I haven't seen it yet, which is why research is a part of this discussion. So just right here above the water, you can then see right there what looks to be like sky. That's a mirage. What is it a mirage of, Travis? Of this right here. Just like that, just like this level part of the building is miraged right here, the sky is miraged right here. And then you need to understand that as you move to the left, this is not sky. It is a mirage of the sky.
Well, it's amazing that you don't see a join or anything, isn't it?
Say that again, a what?
Like a join. I mean, you've got the join with the red lines to show us, but it's amazing that you don't see, like in the sea, a join.
Yeah. So let me come over to this photo here. Let's see. I'll open this with paint again. Okay, so this goes into my thesis. This is the thesis that I have put together for trying to write something. Trying to write something for publication. Okay. So here it is. The horizon is created by a refraction phenomenon, either with or without mirage. Here is an obvious inferior mirage. But, Karen, the mirage is not vertical. It is along the x-axis and includes the apparent sky to either side of these buildings. Okay? This apparent limit to the water, okay? What I mean by the limit to the water is this. The water is going up, up, up in our vision, up. Why does it stop? The apparent limit to the water is not physical. ever, ever, ever. It's never physical. Hold on, I'm going to do it different. Okay. But it is optical, and it is the result of the conditions of the medium through which the observation is being made. Okay. Now, to unpack that, this building is vertical, right? That's a vertical building. You build buildings 90 degrees. You don't build them leaning over. It's not got that building is straight up and down. This building, straight up and down. This building, straight up and down. This building, straight up and down. This building is straight up and down. Now, you might not be able to see it, so you're just going to have to take my word for it. There is an aerial antenna right here. Okay? That's this is 28 miles away. There is no way you're going to see an aerial antenna that big. No way. This is all out of proportion. Every single one of these buildings is magnified. They're bigger than they should be according to the distance and what their actual dimensions are. Okay, so you're not seeing these to scale. Okay, you're not seeing these to scale. But my point is, right now, this is 90
That's
degrees.
strange. Well, then, isn't it? As well, Travis.
Say that again, Kieran. Go ahead.
Like they're smaller and 28 miles away, and in that view, I know that you have to zoom in for it, but they look quite big. But they're not. They're
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit like I understand it, but it's a bit mind-boggling, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is. It's very trippy. It's very abstract to think about what's happening with what you're seeing. Okay. So, this is a 90-degree angle. All of these vertical arrows represent a 90-degree angle. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to change the color of this yellow line. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Give me an arrow. Give me this. Give me this. Do this. Okay, I'm putting in. It's not big enough, but I'll try to make it bigger if I can. No. Give me a second. I'm gonna do a trick that I know how to do. Or use black, yeah. Okay, so I have a right click button and a left click button on my mouse, and sometimes my middle finger will right click and it undoes. Okay, so there, you see that brown line?
Yeah, I do.
That is the ground level. Okay, so what that means is if this were in the right conditions and I had David there, and David was standing right there, and then David had a flashlight or a laser and he shined that light at me, I would see it up here. Why? Because that's where he's standing. I wouldn't see it down here. Okay? Yeah. He's up here. Okay? So, let's go back to our mirage. Again, this building is tall enough. Here is the mirage of this building. This section of the building right here is right here. Okay? That's how much of the building you can see. This building right here, if you come down right here and you see this little bump coming out, whatever this is, that little protrusion, that is the mirror. That's where the mirror line is. So that you can see that little niche coming straight down. There's a niche and then it comes out. Now it goes back in and down. Okay? That is the extent of the reflection here. But in this building and this building, you have no sky beneath the buildings. But look right here. You see that?
Yeah.
And then you go over here, you see more. And then you go over here and it's much, much more. Okay? No sky, no sky, And then we have this thin little strip of mirage. This thin little strip is not the sky beneath this building, because there is no sky beneath buildings. That little thin strip of apparently the sky is right up here. That's the mirror of it.
Can I say
That,
something? Can I
of
say something?
course,
You
of
know when you're
course.
standing on the beach and in front of you, maybe 10 miles away, are clouds. And you look on a puddle on the beach and the clouds are there. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I've got a book that was recommended to me by a professor at a college or a university in California. I haven't gotten through reading it, but the author breaks those kinds of things down. He'll talk about looking at a puddle and seeing the angle, and you can see the building that way. And yeah, it's all about angle. Exactly. So what I would say, in based on what you just said, that made me think of it, is that this building is so tall and this angle is so short that we can't see the entire building. But if we got up higher, we would see this reflection grow towards us, so that we could actually get to an angle just like this one, right? So this building is proportionally correct so that we can see everything. This building is too tall. So if I could make this this image disappear by lowering my perspective. If I got closer to the ground, this degree of angle would disappear. Okay, it's got nothing to do with Earth curve. This is all optical.
Just asking in case people ask, how far off ground were you filming this?
I would say I was about 12 feet.
Right.
12 feet off the ground. Okay.
Okay.
So what I want to try to unpack right now is that this is my thesis here. Okay. Oh no, let me do this. This degree of angle, okay, you see this arrow, you see my triangle down here at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm showing you is now is like I'm looking down at the bottom of this. Let's pretend that this is a live image in my camera. I'm looking from the bottom of my frame over distance. Karen, I'm not looking up 90 degrees. I'm looking out over distance, 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 distance. Okay? Here's the limit of the water. What is creating that limit? The mirage. The mirage is creating the limit. Why can I not see farther? Because the mirage is the obstruction, not Earth curve. You can't see water, not because it's going back down around the curve, because this water is going straight ahead to the shoreline. Okay? So what that means is this degree of angle here, let me do this. I'm making this stuff up. This is like my second or third time talking through this, and every time I think about something else. Okay, there's where the water limit is, right? So that degree of angle has a value of distance. Okay, so let me show you another demonstration real quick.
Okay.
Wish I could make those bars bigger. So
Very interesting though, isn't it?
oh yeah, I absolutely love
Everything's
this.
an optical, it's all like an optical illusion, isn't it? We're living in an
Yes.
optical illusion.
Okay. So if the mirage weren't here, you would just see water go all the way up to where the ground is.
Yeah.
So what's behind that mirage there below the yellow line? What's behind the mirage? Water.
That's not what we see, is it?
Well, this is only one day. Like I would want to go out the next day, the next day, and the next day, and I'm going to tell you this is going to not, this won't be the same image unless you've got the exact same conditions every single day. But I don't have the exact same conditions here on the Chesapeake Bay. I've got so many photographs I could show you, and I get into trouble with the globe flake ballers because they accuse me of changing my location because they can't believe that I'm showing them the same observation. Why? Because it is so different. So let me just jump over to that real quick and I'll show you what I mean by that. Why is it so different? How is it so different, Travis? What are you talking about? Well, let me show you. This is one of my observations here on the Chesapeake Bay. The landscape that's right here.
Three different pictures, but the same position.
Yep.
They're quite different, aren't they?
And they call me a liar. They're like, Travis, there's no way you're in the same position. Look here. This is 9 miles away. All right. Can you spot the differences? Yes, Virginia. Focal length, height, distance are all the same. I am in the same spot. I put my camera in the same spot every single time. Here I've got this is a straight line of sight to the shore.
Do you think the picture on the left is the tides coming in, so there'd be a swell of water? I mean, that's not really incorporated into things, is it? The tides.
Well, if you think about that question, I've been here on the Chesapeake Bay for 3 years. The tides are about 2 to 3 feet. Okay, so if the tide comes in, it's only going to go up the shoreline over here.
I meant with the trees overlapping on the first picture. I mean, if you can't see it all, I mean, I just wondered if tides make a difference.
Well, again, I think that would be an interesting aspect of this discussion to research. But again, that would be research. So let's say, for instance, I'm just going to make this up, Karen. This is totally made up. I don't know this. This is not the facts. Let's just say that the tide here is the same as the there's my middle finger doing his thing again. Let's say the tide here is the same height as the tide here. So if this tide is the same as this tide, then what's making the water appear to be here and not here or over here, right? So it very well could be. It's possible that this could be low tide, this could be high tide. But I've seen it both ways. It's the conditions of the medium, it's the air, it's the aether band. The aether band is a term that I created because I was trying to describe what I was seeing and why I was seeing it. Aether simply refers to the air and everything that makes it up: nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, blah, blah, blah. The conditions, the barometric pressure here, the air temperature here, the wind, all of those things that go into meteorology, that's the aether. That's what you're looking through. Band simply refers to the area that you are looking at. Now, this is a narrow field of view right here. This is a narrow field of view. And I'm zoomed in, okay? This is a zoomed in photo. So if I zoom out, you'll see more land to the left, you'll see more land to the right. So this is a band within the aether. It's the aether band. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, here's a picture of what I was talking about before with what I call the aqua bands. And the aqua bands here are on the water, right? So here's blue, 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 light blue. gray, light blue. So here is a band of, here is an aqua band. Here is an aqua band. Here's a little tiny aqua band. There's another one there. There's another one there. There's another one there. Now, you see this where my arrow is?
Mm-hmm.
From here to here, I'll say 3 feet. Now, this is farther away, and there's a tighter band right here. That could now be 3 feet because it's farther away and the angle is tighter. When we get up here, this thin band could very well be 1/4 of a mile long. I don't know how big it is. I don't know. I'm telling you, though, that the degree of angle that you're looking at and the way perspective works, that compression that you mentioned earlier in the show is going on right here. Our eyes are compressing this distance, as well as the conditions of the medium. Now, if this is 1/4 mile, and this is the same degree of angle and the same size, this could actually be 3 miles of distance, because again, you're compounding distance in your eye. Karen, you see where my arrow is pointing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that dog on the shoreline picking up the Frisbee that his master just threw him?
No.
No, of course not. I don't even know if there's a dog there. My point is, if there were a dog there, you wouldn't see it, because your eye is compressing that information.
Oh, this is a camera doing it, though, isn't it? With the picture.
But the camera, yeah, but the camera is based on our eyes. That's how they made the cameras. They understood our eyes, right?
Okay.
Okay, so now let's go back to this picture here. If you look at the, one of the things that I do here in this area with the Chesapeake Bay is this buoy is 1/4 mile away from me, okay? This buoy is 1/4 mile away from me. This land is 9 miles away from me. So guess how many miles is between this buoy and the shoreline? 8 point,
yeah.
it's just under, yeah. So this degree of distance is at least 8 miles, okay? 8 miles. Now, this isn't the photo I have. I have another photo where I have actually better resolution. I can tell you where this little niche is in the tree line. But let's just say for argument's sake that it's right here. Let's just say it's right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle that right there.
Oh, someone's ringing me, I think. Just stop the phone call.
Yeah, I had one of those happen too. Okay, so here's that spot there, and I'm just going to say right there, here's that spot there, okay? All right, so those are all the same spot. Boom, 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 okay? That means that all of this information right here, this house, this house, this house, this house, is all right here. Everything's right here. This house right here, that house, it's right here. It's right here. Why can't you see it? Is this earth curve right here? Is this house down behind the curve? Is it down here? Okay. This tree line is much smaller than this tree line. But this is the same focal length. I've zoomed in the same way. Why isn't this tree line just as big as this one or this one? Because the conditions of these days are 100% different. Okay, so part of my one of my other theses is this. The appearance of this image is that I am higher up and farther away. This looks like I'm looking farther away. Look, I'm looking farther away. And this water presents itself as if it's lower and farther away from me. why does this water look like I'm closer to it and lower down to the ground? I'm not. I'm the same height, 5.5 feet. My camera is 5.5 feet off the ground here. My camera is 5.5 feet off the ground here. So why doesn't this water look like this water?
I don't know.
Why is, okay, why is the line of water up here? Does that mean that all these buildings are underwater here? If I slid this over and matched up the if I matched up the buoy, you know, this water level would be at a certain level here. The water level is never in the same place, ever in the same place. But this is the shoreline right here. You're seeing the shoreline. So that means that's just level with me. It's level. But see, this is where you were talking about that kind of bends your brain a little bit, right? So just like this is distance, right? Distance, 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 right? That's distance. There's water all the way to the shoreline. Everything that's in this arrow is right here. That same amount of distance. So look how small and narrow that little pop is. Like, boop. Look how small that is. Boop. But that little degree of angle right there. Let's say, for instance, let me do it this way, Karen. Remember I said how far away this buoy is? It's a 1/4 mile away from me, right? So let's put a boat right here. I've got my friend in a boat. And I'm like, okay, Bobby, stop. You're on the horizon, bro. Stop. You're right there, bro. Okay, he's right there. He's right there. That means that from wherever he is, let's say if this is a 1/4 mile away, let's give this another 1/4 mile distance. Let's say he's a 1/2 mile away from me. If this is 9 miles away, then let's do this. No, whatever. Then in that in this little degree of angle is 8.5 miles of distance. And here, 8.5 miles of distance looks like this.
So what's your theory that why it does that then?
It's refraction. The conditions of the medium, just like the air is a lens. The aether band is a lens. Okay.
So you mean some days you can see further with it, and some days you see
Yes.
with it.
Yes, Karen, exactly.
So the more water,
yes.
the more water in the air, the longer you're probably going to see then.
I don't know. That's part of the research. That's part of the research, right? Let me pull up another one that's the same shot, different days, but the exact same location, okay? Oh, here's the one with the circle, right? I found the niche. Excuse me for coughing.
My daughter's just passing if you hear any noise. She's gone into her room now. There you go. Yep, carry on. Very intriguing.
Yeah. I love it. So. Okay.
Yeah.
So here again we have the houses. Okay. Look at this house. You can see the angle of the eaves, right? Here's one part of the roof. Here's another part. Here's another part. You can see this. Okay. That house is right here. This house, look how big it is. See how big this is? Why don't we see it like that here? This is the same setup, right? The same setup. Look how small and far away the landscape looks. You can see the trees and all the different levels of the trees here. Okay? this one as well. So let me do this real quick. Here is the here is,
What a strange realm we live in.
okay, here is the entire tree line to the shore. Okay, let's do that. So now I'm going to put this up right here. You see the circle and that little
So,
niche?
on these photographs, you're not any more zoomed in. They're the same distance, same setting, same everything. And when you take the
Okay, so
picture, they come back
okay.
different.
All right, so here, this is going to bake your noodle, okay, everybody? If anybody is in your audience right now is paying attention, they're going to say, oh, Travis hasn't told her something. Travis is keeping something from Karen, and I can see it, okay? So what anybody who's watching this right now is noticing that this says that my focal length is 268 millimeters. This focal length is 357, and this focal length is 357. So what that means is this. Both of these images are zoomed in exactly the same. Exactly. This one's not. I am zoomed out a little bit farther. But the reason why I did that was because when I framed these shots, I put this buoy on the right side, and I try to capture this land right here. You see this land?
Right.
Okay, it should be over here, and it didn't fit. It didn't fit in this image that day. It didn't fit in this image that day. But the only way I could get it to fit in this image this day was to zoom out just a little bit, because I still kept the buoy on the right. The buoy's on the right. The buoy's on the right. Okay, so that's the way I try to frame my shot. Regardless, if I went back to whatever day this was when I took this photo, I probably have other focal lengths that I can compare. But this still makes the point, okay? So now let me get back to the one that I was talking about before. Okay, so I'm going to line up this rectangle with the tree line right there. See that? Boop. I cut that circle in half. Boop. Right? I'm going to come over here. And now I've got space from the water to the thing. I didn't have that over here. This rectangle completely blocked everything down to the shoreline here. But now, because of the conditions of the medium that we're looking in, the water is in a different position, and there's an inferior mirage. Okay, there's an inferior mirage right here. So now what I'm going to do is, because again, when you have an inferior mirage, this image is not 100% the same image. You have to cut that image in half, because the top part is physical, the bottom part is the mirage. Okay, so that's going to be our
happening. That's not happening in the first picture.
No, there's no inferior mirage here or here. So what I'm going to do is what I did before. I'm going to make this thin little strip right here. I'm going to take it up to where the mirage is, down to the water line. Okay. So you and I are looking into the distance, looking to the distance, looking to the distance. Karen, why do we see the water stop? That's just a rhetorical question, right? But let's say you and I were.
I just thought, I don't know.
Okay. And that's fine. That's fine. But those are questions people are not asking. And maybe if they are in this discussion, well, let me say it to you this way, Karen. In this discussion of whether or not the Earth is flat or a globe, their answer to this question, what is causing the limit of this? Their answer has to be every single time Earth curve. Every single time. Otherwise, how do you know when it's not refraction?
But they don't understand that they're saying that, but you can see all the trees behind it. Those trees would be lower down in in the picture.
Oh, okay, listen, you are absolutely genius. You ready for this? Brandon Toy, he took over Ranty Flat Earth's channel, right?
Right.
Trying to think of where I had this. Hold on. He has been going over William Carpenter's book from 1885. William Carpenter wrote a pamphlet to the Johns Hopkins University providing 100 proofs the Earth is not a globe. So I'm in here, I'm over here. What you just said is proof number 7, and crack a smurf if I can't remember where I put it. Give me a second. Where did I put that image, Karen?
I don't know what you're looking for.
If I can't, I know, right? If I can't remember, I will just pull it up on. I'm just going to pull it up on because I have it saved as a page. All right. I've actually been doing these as daily devotions on my Facebook page. I do a coffee sode, like an episode. It's a coffee sode. So this is called 100 Proofs That the Earth is Not a Globe. And the point that you just made up, Karen, is his proof number 7. So you're absolutely genius.
It's only one of them now. But I don't understand how they don't realise that part of it. If you can see the trees behind
I think they don't want to realize it, okay? Because again, it's so very simple. It's absolutely so simple. Let me make this just a little bit smaller. Okay, here's proof number 7 here. Now, what's funny about this is he's actually talking about the Chesapeake Bay, which is where I'm shooting, okay? Here's what he says. Now, he's talking about boats, but what you said is the same principle, okay? So here it is. If we take a trip down the Chesapeake Bay in the daytime, we may see for ourselves the utter fallacy of the idea that when a vessel appears hull down, as it is called, it is because the hull is behind the water. For vessels have been seen and may often be seen again, presenting the appearance spoken of. And away, far away beyond those vessels, and at the same moment, the level shoreline with its accompanying complement of tall trees towering up in perspective over the heads of the hull-down ships. Right? That's exactly what you just said. If that was Earth curve, those trees would not be in that position. Okay? Exactly. So then what that would mean is, for these knuckleheads, is that if this right here was Earth curve, then the Earth is curving. Oops, I thought I did this. Then the Earth is curving down, and then, oh, I thought it was going to curve. Hold on. The Earth is curving down and then up. Oh, I can't. I've never used that one before. I thought it was going to be tricky, but I'm not. The idea, though, is that the Earth would be bending down behind the water, and then it would be lifting this back up so you could see it. Because, again, I have other photographs where these houses are halfway cut in half and halfway miraged. I've got every single degree. I have so much footage, Karen. There is no limit to what I could prove. I just have to have the support and the time to present my findings. It is that simple. Absolutely. And all we need is for one guy on the inside who wakes up and sees this and goes, I totally get what you're saying. This is totally revolutionary. This is going to blow refraction out of the water. We don't know what we're looking at. We thought we did. We're wrong. And we have to look at this again. Okay? But here is the same situation here where it looks like I'm farther away from the water, but here it looks like I'm closer. No, this is magnification. The air is lifting up this water to this position, and then it's compressing. Are you saying that there's 2 effects going on? I'm saying that there's 5, bitch. There's 10 you don't know about. There's not just one thing going on here. But I will tell you this. You've got a mirage here. You've got magnification here. You've got this displaced. This tree line is displaced. What do you mean by that, Travis? Well, just say for the argument's sake that this is yesterday, this was today, and this was 2 days ago. This tree line isn't at the same position as this one. This tree line isn't at the same position as this one. This tree line isn't at the same position as this one. What's making this go? Travis, you must be changing. You're just trying to confuse us. No, that's the mistress aether band. That is the air through which you are looking, and it presents these images to you any way she wants. You can't see anything here, nothing, but you can see these boat docks right here, 9 miles away.
Do you find it a bit strange that when you're actually taking these pictures, like one day you get, oh, I can see the houses and I can almost see the people walking
Not anymore. Not anymore.
And the
but when
next
I
day you
first,
think, oh, it's over there.
So I didn't know what I was going to discover when I bought my camera because I had never made these observations before. So I'm making these observations from ground zero. Didn't even know about Wide Awake. I don't even know if I knew about Ranty at the time, whatever.
Yeah,
okay?
Dave Marsh was the same. You've heard of Dave Marsh, haven't you?
Oh, I love Dave. Dave is fantastic. Absolutely. He's a god among the lunar observations for sure. But my point is that, yeah, I had to sit down, Karen, and look at these and say, wait a minute, why am I seeing two different things? Why I didn't do anything different. I'm so confused. Did I do something wrong? And then I began to understand that I'm setting up in the same place. I'm not changing my elevation. I'm not changing my location. The only thing that's changing are the days. And every single day presents a different picture. It's
Is
new.
that because, is it happening that if you go there at the same time, the same place, but you know the seasons change, the sun changes its position in the sky? Is that making a bit of a difference? I know.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I haven't made any observations in the past 2 weeks.
You know what? Originally, we tried to do an experiment ourselves on Sun and Moon on the Facebook group. We started to ask people to go out there, but of course it's very hard to get a group of people to do it. It just is. But to go out there at 12 o'clock and show us where your shadows are.
Yeah. Yep.
So we've tried, you know, in the past, but it's quite difficult getting loads of people.
Well, it is. I mean, think about this. I've been listening to programs, and my profession is a truck driver. I drive a truck, so I'm out on the road a large part of the day. But sometimes, let's say, for instance, I'm listening to your show and it's live.
Oh, thank you so much, Travis.
And you say, okay, everybody, I want you to go outside and measure your shadow or see where your shadow is. Well, I'm driving, so guess what? I can't do it. I'd love to. So yeah, you're right. You know, the timing. Yeah, the timing of it is, and not only that, oh, Karen, I wish I could, but I got clouds. I got nothing but clouds. I don't know where the sun is. It's crazy. But yeah, you're right. Getting that stuff, it's like herding cats, right? Trying to get 10 flat earthers to do something is like herding 100 cats. It's impossible. But real quick, and we can wrap it up, or you can ask questions or whatever. You know, it's not live. It's not live.
I think I've got another hangout to do.
Okay. Do you want me to wrap it up right now? I don't have to go any farther.
I mean, I love Wide Awake and I love his work. I talk to him quite a lot, so he's a good friend. But I've been very impressed today. Yeah, really enjoyed that.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity.
You know, with me, right? I don't know what you know. I don't know what Wide Awake knows, or even Dave Marsh knows, and the other people, Ranty and that. They've all got cameras. You all do that, but I've been listening and watching, and I suddenly realised, you know, because obviously Wide Awake was talking to me one day and talking about this mirroring effect, and I noticed a lot of his work was on mirroring, and it's like I've accepted that, but a lot of people haven't accepted that part of it.
Yeah. Well, let me
want to understand even that part, because you just said there isn't just one or two effects going on. There could be 10 effects going on, and we need to work it all out again. So that is one effect, is the mirroring. I've understood that.
Let me just close with one point to make. Let me see.
Also, you with showing us everything, what you're trying to do is you are trying to get funded to do this research.
Yeah, because if I'm going to take the time now, I'm not trying to do it all at once. It's think of the GoFundMe as a bank, okay? As long as there's funds in it, those funds can be used. If I have to take time off from work, again, as a truck driver, I don't have a salary. And I haven't been working since mid-January. So guess what I've been living off of? My savings, right? But I'm doing this because I love this. I love it. But my savings are dwindling down, and I've got enough to get me through until May. So it would be my delight for someone out there who had enough money. Like if I had the money, if I had, if I wasn't worried about money, and I believed in the flat earth, and I believed in the research that needed to be done, I would have absolutely no problem saying, Travis, write yourself a check, bro, and just do it. Somebody's out there, 10 of you can do that. 100 of you can do that. You guys can do this. You can do that. We can do this. So anyway,
it's not that we want NASA, but I'm just saying we need somebody almost like that to help, and there isn't anybody. So the people are doing. Oh, we've lost Travis for a moment.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Oops, he did it again.
Yeah. So okay, just I'll wrap it up so that you can get on to your next one. But I want to close with this is what I was saying.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying, that NASA is not going to support us in the same way that Macy's or another department store isn't going to stop selling Christmas things.
Oh,
it's money.
No, I didn't say we wanted NASA, but we needed somebody.
Yeah.
It was a big organization to start helping us. I mean, don't you think with all those big observatories, every single one of those needs to be arrested?
Yeah. Yep. Cease and desist. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to say thank you so much, Karen. I absolutely love you. I love
Travis.
I know. I love you. You have such. I remember being just struck by your positive, joyful presence on your channel, and that's why I love your channel. Besides the content, because you have great guests. But let me just close with this, because
that's very sweet of you to say. But the point of Sun
honestly
is to be a community, so that like I put it, I don't want to sound like I'm being rude to anybody. I might not necessarily agree with everything that everybody tells me on the Hangouts, but the Sun and Moon was about the people talking. Yeah. We're supposed to be a community. We're not all going to agree on the same things, but
exactly.
Basically we do, and that's the point. We just have to move on the best we can. I mean, we're making our own sort of television, if you understand what I mean. And I was hoping that, obviously YouTube, they probably have me on a really low algorithm, and this whole thing is horrible.
I know.
So
exactly.
Someone falling down a step gets 1 million views, and we're trying to tell the truth, and all we do is get but again, YouTube is owned by Google. Google is Google Earth. I suppose, what do you expect? But we try the best we can.
Well,
and now it's onto BitChute and other places, because we don't want to be so, like, how can I put it? If you just live on YouTube, it's all these sets of rules. And, we're trying the best we can to get our information out.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, very quickly, I know that we're going to finish, but on BitChute, there's a couple of people now put these messages on there. So I'm talking about, say, Doggerland, because on YouTube I have to go to other areas, but I am interested in them. But I'd like to have my say on the Lyris, but we can't. So we have to move on. And anyway, they'd like to give me 2 strikes for medical misinformation, which they weren't. And one of them was from a news channel, which is still showing that information. They didn't get done for medical misinformation, RT News, but I did. All I did was copy their news. But anyway, I've forgotten what I was going to say now.
You were talking about BitChute.
Oh yeah. I'm sick of being so controlled when actually the only people that are trying to control are the system that are doing it to us. So it's a
Yeah.
bit strange, really, being on YouTube. I
Yeah.
love the platform. I just don't like them. I think there's some military operation, to be honest. But
Sure.
so we have to go to other places, and what you're talking about probably won't go much on YouTube because YouTube won't like it. They're Google Maps, and what are they promoting? A globe.
Yeah. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's the battle that we
Yeah,
have.
that's the really sad thing. What's happened is, right, I did it with eBay. I had an eBay shop, but then I deleted it because one day I had enough and I went delete. Thousands of items I had on there. I spent as much time as I'm putting into what I do now. I put into this eBay thing, but the only people that made money were them, and not. I just couldn't. What I noticed was, and people were telling me, was that there were lots of other little selling things, but they were all bought out by eBay. And then when you came to the day, yeah, you've got a few. There's Etsy, there's other places to go to, and there's other ones springing up. But the hold that eBay has, you can't sell. eBay's the place you went to sell, and they control everything.
Yeah.
And I worked really hard to get up to be a top-rated seller. And when I got there, I had another set of rules that I had to do, even though I'd got there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I already learned the kind of system they've got us in. And also eBay changed the search system. YouTube have changed the search system. So basically, whatever eBay did to eBay, YouTube is the same thing has happened to YouTube. And that's why it's all, and now they can, well, look, they're talking about that, put them on a low algorithm. Because I watched a video about this guy seeing it in the gobbledygook. He sees that it's somewhere in the the little codes they have at the top of the page. It's all written in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why do YouTube? Why do we want to run a platform that just basically wants people falling over?
I think,
as long as you also sound stupid and they're not really telling the truth and they're laughing at it, that's what they want.
yeah.
And also, like the reason we've got deepfake is because of places like YouTube. If they put in the system that would stop, because what it is computers aren't made for deepfake, but they accept it. So basically, you need a program that doesn't accept it. So imagine if YouTube, not the news, so YouTube, Facebook, all these platforms put that software in, most of their platform would disappear. So they promote the deepfake and all the lies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a completely corrupt system.
And they give me a strike for something that wasn't even true, is it? And it was the news that said it, not me.
I know. Yeah, I totally hear you, sister. I totally hear you.
Yeah, anyway, we won't go too far down that one, but you know what I mean. But I have really enjoyed that for the explanation you've given. And even if people didn't understand it before, they do now.
Let me close off because I have a citation here from one of the preeminent doctors in this field of astronomical refraction. Okay, so what's funny is he sent the doctor, Dr. Andrew Thomas Young, sent me this article because otherwise I would have had to subscribe to the magazine for like $300 and then buy the article for $15. So I'm very thankful that the good doctor sent this to me. But what he provides in here that he says, I was saying before I read this. So based on my observations, I was saying this in Ranty's chat. I was saying this in Brandon's chat. I was saying this on Jose JG. I was saying these things, and all of those ballers, those globe flakes who have no field experience, were telling me that I was stupid, ignorant, didn't know what I was talking about. So here's the two things. And the two things that I'm pointing out right now are what we talked about today. Okay, so this is the pied de resistance. The lower edge of an inferior mirage at sea forms the apparent horizon, which is what I was asking you. Karen, why can't we see more water? Because the inferior mirage is creating the limit of what you can see. The mirage is the obstruction. Not only does the mirage create the apparent horizon, but inferior mirages have been talked about for hundreds of years. They were mentioned in antiquity. Inferior mirages hide distant objects like houses and trees and shorelines. Why can't I see the shoreline? It's behind refraction. And that combination of refraction that is affecting the light and our eyes seeing the light, all of that stuff together just kills it. We can't see it. But we can't see it not because it's behind a curve. We can't see it because the mistress Aether Band has dropped her skirts. And she says, I'm not letting you see up there right now. You have to wait till another day. Karen, thank you so much. I love it, love it, love it.
Can I just ask you, I mean, obviously, Wide Awake goes through the same thing as well. Dave Marsh probably does the same thing, but does it annoy you that you can't, like, it's not just like taking a, you have, it's changing all the time. Does that annoy you?
Is what changing? My observations?
Well, like you're in the same place, the same time, the same spot. Oh, but it's different today. Does that annoy you?
No, I love it. I love it. I look at it as almost opening a new present every single day. I absolutely love it. I'll send you some pictures of some of my favorite shots.
You've just made more questions now.
well, good. Well, have me back. Let's do let's do this. You're going to air this show, and then if you want to, let's have a live show so that you've got guests, you've got people that can ask questions live.
I can't do that one, Travis, with the way they've done it. But we have a premiere, which means that we're recorded, but you can be in the chat room. So in a sense, it's easier because say people did want questions. If you were on the Hangout, okay, you talk.
How about this?
But you can answer it and send links and stuff.
I've got it. Here we go. Because you've got your own schedule, you can do this whenever you want. Tell your audience that you are going to be on my channel. Because then we can do it live. I've got no restrictions. We can do it live. And
okay.
then
what have you got? OBS then?
I use a program called Streamlabs. It's got its own OBS. It's really hands off. It does everything for you. I hate software shenanigans in the computer that if I can't see it, I'm more of a hardware guy. I need to put the plug in and then but if it's all software stuff, I don't want to do it.
We can arrange this afterwards. We can work out how to do it because the only thing is when you go live, it's facing me. So how would I have you there? So I'd have to do it on yours.
That's what I'm saying.
Cool. Well, we can talk about that anyway, Travis, because we're communicating now on Facebook and stuff. But Travis,
yes, ma'am.
I've really enjoyed that to explaining that, but it made it even more complicated because it just does.
I hear what you're saying. So, well, let's keep talking about it because the more we talk about it, I think.
How did they ever find each other if they were looking at that? It's 5 miles. Oh no, it's 15 miles. Oh no, it's 3 miles. In view, everything's closer. And also, people have to remember as well, when they're firing missiles for hundreds of miles, there's nothing in there that says we are curving. It's straight there.
Yeah. I mean, everything is there for us to understand. We can talk about that later.
Anyway, I've really enjoyed that. Thank you so much, Travis. But don't go. We'll just go for the hangout and say goodbye here, and I'll say goodbye to you afterwards. Anyway, okay. Travis, we will continue. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.